Welcome to our training for the Houston Realtors on how to write an offer on a property using data from the MLS and zipForm MLS Connect. zipForm MLS Connect is an easy and quick way to import MLS listing information into your zipForm Plus forms. You can also work on the go using the zipForm Mobile Web Edition, which also allows you to use the MLS Connect option to import information into your forms. That can make it very easy to go through and write an offer on a property while you're there at the property. So we can make offers effortlessly, and we can go through and ensure our offers are accurate by using zipForm MLS Connect. To do so, we are going to go into zipForm Plus. I'm going to open zipForm Plus. We can also use shortcuts like the cover sheet in order to save time and ensure all of the MLS information is saved the minute it's imported. We can also click MLS Connect to import that data from a listing. Then we will review imported data. We'll talk about the transaction information, templates, and other tips for completing your contracts, as well as saving and sharing these forms. So let's go ahead and get started by going into our zipForm account. Inside of Texas, you will enter your zipForm account through the Texas Association of Realtors website. You can sign in or just click the zipForm button and you will be prompted to sign in using your Texas Association of Realtors email and password. In addition to finding information and signing in at texasrealestate.com, you can also find great resources and look up listings at har.com, your Houston Association of Realtors website. Here you can find the listings that you might import into your forms. Once you are logged in to zipForm Plus, you are on your Transactions page. Your Transactions page displays your existing files and allows you to start a new file very quickly. When starting a new file, you can click the New button at any time, and that allows you to start a new set of forms for a specific client or property. You can name this set of forms so that it will be easy to find later on. You might include the property address or even your client's name or other information. You can select the transaction type and property type. Most of the time when you are using MLS Connect, you will be writing an offer on the property because you are importing information from the MLS into your forms. So we can go ahead and select that this is a purchase type, and then we can select a template. If you have a template, that means you have created a saved packet of forms that you would like to use on your future transactions. If you don't see this Apply Template drop-down, that's okay. That just means you have not created a template yet to work on your forms. Templates are a great shortcut, but they're not required to work in zipForm. You can also click Add Photo if you would like to add a picture of the property, and click Save to save your changes. Since I did use a template, certain forms, and even in this case a PDF document, were added into my transaction automatically. These are the forms that I set aside as the forms I need in every purchase contract. You can set up your templates to have the forms that you would like to use or need, and you can go through and add in other key information like your contact information to those templates to help save even more time. Now from this page, we have the information for parties. Those are contacts inside of our files, and for the property, as well as those documents and forms. Under Property, you will see the MLS Connect button, which you can click at any time in order to select your MLS. In this case, it's HAOR. Enter your MLS user ID and password, and then enter the MLS listing ID number to import information directly from the MLS. So you are able to quickly and easily go through and import information into your forms from any existing listing on the MLS. Now we can use MLS Connect from this Property tab, or we can use it while we are filling out our forms. So I'm going to go back to the Documents tab, and I'm going to open a form, since you might be more familiar with navigating through your forms and filling out your forms and contracts on the Forms page. Once you have a form or forms you would like to fill out, like this sample buy-sell agreement, you can click on the form to open and begin entering text into the forms. When you are entering information into the form, you can fill out information by clicking and typing into the fields, or you can use that MLS Connect button. We see it once again up here at the top of the page. When you click MLS Connect from the Forms page, you see the same screen we saw before. You have the ability to go through and select your MLS, enter your MLS user ID and password, and select your listing type, and enter the listing ID number. Remember to select the correct listing type when you are going to import from the MLS, because that will affect whether or not you are able to find that MLS listing. So make sure you have the correct listing type. Usually it is residential, so we do default to residential. Now, we can go through and import from any MLS listing using the MLS listing ID number. You can type in that listing ID number or copy and paste it from the MLS, whatever is more convenient for you. Once you enter that MLS listing ID number, click the Find button, and that is going to find that listing for you. You can go through and double check that the listing information matches what you were searching for. That's important because once we go through and enter this MLS information into the forms, we would have to go back through and update the forms or information in order to undo that information. So we want to make sure that it is the correct information. So double check the address, the city, the state, anything that might help identify the property. If it is the correct information, you will want to click this Import button. Click the Import button to import that information into your forms. When you import the information into your forms, it fills out the property address and other key information for the transaction. To ensure that the information from the MLS imports correctly into the forms, you may wish to use a specific form called the cover sheet in order to import all of the information or all of the possible information from your MLS into the form. The cover sheet can be found under the All Forms tab. Click Transaction Cover Sheet or Cover Sheet Form, and you will see that this form is not a contract. It is simply a summary of the information inside of your contracts. Now this is important because the information that you pull from the MLS will fill out the standard fields inside of this cover sheet form. That will update all of your other forms inside of the transaction. From this cover sheet form, you can also make changes if you would like to make a correction or perhaps add in your own information. You can click and type or use the drop-down lookup fields to look up common information like city, state, or zip code. Once you have filled out that information, it automatically fills out the rest of your forms. You can click on any form to move to that form, and you can see that listing information that we imported from the MLS, as well as any applicable information from your cover sheet, has automatically been copied over into your form. If you'd like to double check what information has been copied into your forms, you might click the Fast Fill button. Fast Fill is one of many shortcuts located above your forms in these blue buttons, what we call the quick tools, just like MLS Connect is. Fast Fill strips away the form language on your forms, leaving you just the fields to fill out. This is a great way to double check what's been filled out in your forms. You can click Fast Fill again to return to the regular form view. And you can do this on any form inside of your transaction. Click Fast Fill to strip away the form language, and you can continue to fill out information as needed. Then click Fast Fill again to return to the standard form view and see that the information you filled out is automatically there inside the form. Once you have filled out standard information inside your forms, you can click Save to save your changes. You'll notice my Save button is grayed out. That's because I switched between Fast Fill, which automatically saves your changes as well. Your changes are also automatically saved anytime you go to the My Forms tab and open a different form, or anytime you go to the All Forms tab and add another form. So there's a lot of automatic saving going on, but you might click Save from time to time to make sure you have all of the changes saved. Finally, for filling in those longer fields like counteroffer terms or addendums, you might use clauses created for you by your brokerage or clauses that you have created yourself using the Clause Manager on the Transactions page. Clauses are saved text. You can click on a field, click the pencil button, and insert clauses that you had previously saved. So this way you can add in that standard legal or brokerage language that you need for your forms, and you need again and again. You can save that and add it in as it applies. Now we've talked about 4 main shortcuts inside of zipForm Plus. We started our file and applied a template, our first shortcut, to add in saved forms or a saved packet to get us started with the correct forms right away. Then we jumped to the MLS Connect to import information directly from the MLS that is available right now for you through the Houston MLS. We also went in and we used the Fast Fill button, also located up there in our Quick Tools, to strip away form language, leaving us just the fields to fill out so we can easily and quickly double-check that information that came over from the MLS. And finally, we learned for longer text, phrases, sentences, and legal language, we can insert a clause into the forms using the Clauses button. Click on a field, click the pencil button, and click your clause book to insert a clause selected from your list of clauses that you've created. Now that we know some shortcuts to filling out our forms, let's go ahead and save them one more time. Remember, if I haven't switched between Fast Fill or added or switched between forms, I might want to click the Save button to make sure all my changes have been saved. Now that we've saved this online so we can sign into zipForm and open it up again at any time, we can share it with others. There are a couple of ways to share your forms. The easiest and most straightforward is to email your form or fax it to anybody. You can email or fax a single form or multiple forms. Let's face it, we usually need to deal with multiple contracts. So I'm going to click that envelope and choose Email Multiple Forms because I want to include the lead paint disclosure, the option to purchase, and any other information that I might need when sending off one or more of my forms. So I've selected the forms I would like to use by checking the box next to the forms, or if you're on the icon view instead of the list view, I'll just click icon to switch to that, you can simply click the checkbox on the form itself to select it, and then click Next, and I can select the order that I'm sending these forms in. I can select who I'm sending these to, click the Address Book button, looks like a little business card, to select who you are sending this to, or type in their email addresses by hand. Enter your subject line, choose whether this is an email or a fax. You can fax to any fax machine directly from zipForm. And check the box to be copied on the email, so you will receive a copy in your inbox. Add any message you would like to include. And click Send. And that sends off your forms immediately. Now I sent quite a few forms. If you click the Back button, there's a other shortcut that you can use where you can share forms online. You can click the Share button and share any PDFs with anybody. It will just send them a link to view those PDFs. You can also use the ESign button to send for more than just review. You can send for signatures using DocuSign or ZipLogic's Digital Ink. The ESign button is available when you are filling out your forms, so when you have a form open, or available from your Documents page inside of the transaction file. The ESign button will send to the signature program of your choice. Mine happens to be set to using ZipLogic's DigiLink, but you can choose whether you are using ZipLogic's DigiLink or DocuSign through your profile in zipForm. The profile in zipForm can be reached by clicking your name and then clicking Profile. Let's go ahead and send for signatures, and then I'll take a quick look at our profile to further customize zipForm Plus before we finish today's training. So we clicked the ESign button. Now I'm going to click Sign, and I'm going to select which documents I would like to send for signatures. You can even name this submission, this packet of documents, so that when you come back and check on the status of these documents later through that same ESign button, you can recognize which packet you're looking at. I can also rearrange the order of these documents or click Browse to add an outside PDF that was not already inside my file. Click Next to continue, and you can select who will be signing. You'll notice that signers do need their first name, last name, and email address. They also need a role. The role is going to determine where they are signing. When you're done selecting signers, click Done, and you can click and drag to rearrange those signers. You could even list it so that more than one signer could sign at the same time. You can also choose to automatically copy people once signing is complete. That will send them an email with a PDF attached of all completed signed documents. And you could add in text message authentication or identity verification. Either of those can be used in order to add a further security blanket to your signature process. Click Next to continue, and on the next page you can double check where people are signing these documents. So not only did we easily and quickly set up these documents to make an offer on this property, but we can also send them out so that they can be clicked to sign. Many of your documents will automatically have the areas or tags for people to sign or initial. But if there is not a signature where you need one, you can always click and drag to add one. Click on somebody's name, and then click and drag their signature to the line where you would like them to sign. When you add a signature, the time and date stamp is automatically added as well. You can click and drag that anywhere you need it on the form. And when somebody is signing, you can also choose to add a text box for them to fill out, or even check boxes for them to complete. You can review all of the documents that you chose to send for signing. You can add signatures or initials to any or all of them as needed. Make sure that everybody on your list is signing or initialing at least one document. And make sure that every document on your list has at least one signature or initials. That way, your courier, whether it is ZipLogic's DigiLink or DocuSign, will know what to do with these documents when they go signer by signer to deliver the documents for signing. So we can click Send and then click Send Now to send off the email that will allow our first signer to start signing these documents. We can come back and check status to view the history of signing, email the signers, and view or download the documents we sent for signing. So from zipForm Plus, you can have a complete transaction. You can go through quickly add your documents, complete your contracts, use MLS Connect to import information from the MLS directly into your forms, and you can use shortcuts like those we reviewed today. You can even send for signatures using ZipLogic's digital ink. Now I know that we covered a lot in today's training. If you would like to review what we have covered, while you are inside of zipForm, look for this question mark button. That will lead you to the guided help that can show you how to go through many of the steps we covered today. The guided help is specific to the page you have open. So when I had the signatures page open, it was offering to show me how to send for signatures. Here on my Documents page, this can show me how to use ZipVault. That means adding documents in order to store PDFs and other documents inside of the file, or updating the expiration date to determine how long my file will be stored online. We can also learn how to use ZipLogic's digital ink like we just did, or check on the status of something we submitted through ZipLogic's digital ink. So that help is always available at your fingertips under the gray question mark. We've covered a lot of information today, but I'd like to cover one more thing before closing today's training. I'd like to cover your profile. Your profile is a great place to go in and personalize zipForm Plus. Click on your name and then click Profile, and you are able to update your information. So you can change the information that prints on the bottom of your forms. The address information can be edited. That's what prints at the bottom of your forms if you need to make a change. And even your email signature that appears when you email out contracts from zipForm. If you've made any changes, click Save to save those changes. You'll also see sections to update your libraries, so you can change the order of your libraries, organize them to make it easier for you to use. Or change your settings. Here's where you can set whether that ESign button goes to DocuSign or to ZipLogic's digital ink. You can also update general options, including turning on the autosave, so zipForm will save your files every 15 minutes while you're working in your forms, even if you have not switched to fast fill or switched between forms. Once again, if you've made any changes, click Save and click Close to return to where you were in zipForm when you clicked to open your profile. Now there are many wonderful tools available to you in zipForm to help you work seamlessly, professionally, and paperlessly with your clients. You don't have to eliminate paper entirely, but these tools are easy to use so that you can use less paper and spend less time driving around, more time working with your clients. Remember, shortcuts like MLS Connect can help you to work with anybody quickly and efficiently on any transaction. You can access MLS Connect from the Property tab or from your Quick Tools when you're filling out your forms. If you have not yet enabled MLS Connect, you can sign up by clicking on the shopping cart button in the top right-hand corner of your screen and adding MLS Connect to your shopping cart, or you can visit zipform.com. On zipform.com, you can find more information about all kinds of wonderful and helpful add-ons, like the mobile web edition that allows you to work from your phone or tablet. You will also find the option to go and purchase zipForm MLS Connect. Go up to the Purchase area, click zipForm MLS Connect, and you can scroll down to purchase the Houston MLS zipForm MLS Connect by clicking Order. That will allow you to select the zipForm product that you currently use. If you sign in online through the Texas Association of Realtors or through your brokerage website, then you are using zipForm Plus, the online edition. If you open zipForm from your computer, then you are using zipForm Standard, the desktop edition. Either one works very well with MLS Connect to allow you to import information into your forms quickly and easily so that you can make an offer at any time. Now that does bring us to the end of our training today on using MLS Connect inside of zipForm Plus. I hope that you enjoyed today's quick tips and tricks that you can use inside of your transactions. And I encourage you to sign in to zipForm Plus and try out some of those shortcuts today. Remember, you can sign up for MLS Connect at any time, and you can sign in to zipForm to access your forms, contracts, ZipLogix Digital Ink, and other wonderful tools that will help you to save time and work quickly with your clients at your convenience.